Hi babes, welcome back. So this tutorial is me explaining how to make the pre-section stitch braid method for people who still, I don't know, have an issue with their stitch braid, or we just like to explore this option. So the first thing I am using is using my braiding gel all over the edges of the particular braid, especially where needs to be laid away from my design. After doing that, I am going to comb the gel into the hair and just flatten it. It makes it so much easier and neater. Move over to the front, just making sure again that my parts are really clean. I am now going to proceed to start making the stitches. Okay guys, so there are two methods to making the pre-stitch method, the pre-stitch braid. The first one is you make the line of the stitch and then you braid it just enough to hold it in place until you are set to braid the whole hair. So you make the section, try to make them even, try to make them straight. This is most helpful, especially when you're making like jumbo braids where you have a large section and not just those tiny, like the width of the braid on the face is when the width of the braid is much. This is literally quarter of her whole hair, so this really helps me to lay down the stitch, like to kill the stitch and just get it perfect. But when making like smaller sections of braid, it is usually easier when making your stitches because you just have a short distance to stitch the braid. But with these long ones, it is very easy for it to start misyanning after a while. So I find this one to be like my any day I'm just not in the mood for try and error or battling with my stitch braid, because I just still find it challenging, especially since I don't find it comfortable having my nails fixed while braiding. Like, I don't know how people braid with nails, but it makes my braid not to be the best it can be and it slows me down. So since I know I don't have nails all the time, I just don't want to be battling with making the lines with comb with my left hand and then to my right, to my left, to my right. It stresses me out. So this first method, you just make your section, hold it together, braid it a little. Let me see how many times we braided. 1, 2 circles, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just braid it a little bit. That's not even up to 1 inch, right? And then yeah, let's finish up here and I'll show you the second method. So this second method is kind of more advanced, and on a beginner level it is like the next advanced level. What you do is when you make your seed braid, instead of braiding that section, you twist it, just like gather it together with the gel, and then you alternate where you face each one. So I had like one goes, this one came to the right, this next one goes to the left. It helps it not to get mixed up when you start braiding. So you know the reason why we braided the previous section was to be sure that when it's time to braid the whole hair, that section is not messed up or tangled or mixed with the other ones. So this is a step more tech for guys. Use enough braiding gel. Don't be stingy coco like me. So that was the second method. You just section, move it to the left, the next one move to the right, the next one to the left, the next one to the right. It reduces the possibility of the hair mixing up, and you don't have to like go ahead and braid it to this all the way level 1 beginner method. That's level 2 beginner method. So after this, we are going to proceed to start braiding the hair just like this. You'll see the way I keep adding the hair as I get to it. If you add it too early, you're going to alter your stitch in a way. So if you're braiding and you haven't yet reached where the braided stitch is, just continue braiding, ignoring the fact that you didn't add any of the natural hair. When you get to where the stitch braid is supposed to fit in, then you put it in. So we are going to do this all the way to the end and enjoy.